Okay, i-play ko na po yung video. Okay na ba lahat? Ready na po ba lahat? Okay na ba i-start? Hello, sorry. Narinig niyo ba ako? Hello? Mic test? Rinig ba ako? Sorry. Okay, i-play ko na po. Sabihin niyo lang kung may problem po sa audio. I-try ko ayusin kung may any problems. Okay.
Good afternoon. We will now start. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and end of the pep talk, so please show your faces in the video. A reminder after the pep talk is to take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this one shown here. We have placed the link in the chat box. Another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn on your video, turn and show your face.
Okay. Mag-picture taking lang po tayo. Sorry. Okay. On na lang po lahat ng video. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nice ba? One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. I-play ko na po ulit yung video.
I have a patient empowerment program in which I'd like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. From October 23, 2021 onwards, I have been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. May 18, 2024 marks the start of year 4 of the RO Hoson pep talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on our enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance. My pep talk today is entitled Fibroadenoma, How to Manage. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on fibroadenoma of the breast, how to manage it as part of their health management. The contents of this pep talk will be the following. What is fibroadenoma of the breast? How is fibroadenoma of the breast recognized clinically? When are diagnostic tests indicated? What are the theorized causes of fibroadenoma? How fast or how slow does a fibroadenoma grow? if it becomes bigger? Can a fibroadenoma become a breast cancer? And what is the treatment of fibroadenoma? A disclaimer here is that the R.O. Hosson pep talk contains R.O. Hosson's thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, or TPORs, culled from experiences of R.O. Hosson and writings of other health professionals. Let's start with the first topic. What is a fibroadenoma of the breast? In the breast, different kinds of masses can occur, such as cancer, not cancer or non-cancer, inflammatory or infectious diseases, and hormonal changes. Fibroadenoma is a non-cancerous dominant solid mass on the breast. This slide illustrates the various types of masses that can be seen on the breast. You have the abscess, fibroadenoma, a cyst, macrocyst, and then you have the fibrocystic changes, and then cancer, and other dominant mass, aside from all these things mentioned here, can occur. How is fibroadenoma of the breast recognized clinically? First, there is a dominant mass, breast mass. When you say dominant mass, it's not the lumpy breast surface, which is part and parcel of the fibrocystic changes or fibroadenoma, as illustrated here. A dominant mass is one that stands out, different from the surrounding breast tissues. So this is what we call the real mass or the red flag, which needs further investigation. After having a dominant mass, the next characteristics of the mass is that it can be of any size, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, etc., or even bigger. Then the mass is solid, meaning it's not cystic. When you say cystic, it contains fluid. So if it's solid, it does not contain fluid. So if cystic, we call that a macrocyst and not a fibroadenoma. So this illustrates a fibroadenoma and then a cyst. Fibroadenoma is solid. The macrocyst is cystic. So to determine whether a mass is cystic, we have to elicit fluctuation. Fluctuation means, or can be tested by placing 2 fingers of one hand here, somewhat apart on the mass, then with the index fingers of the other hand placed between these 2 fingers, and then alternate downward pressure over the mass is applied with the index fingers of this second hand. Okay. Like so. Okay. 2 fingers in one hand, then the index fingers of the other hands pressing on the mass. The 2 fingers here with one hand try to stabilize the mass. So if the mass is depressible or compressible, then most likely it is cystic. And most likely, if it's cystic, it is a macrocyst and not fibroadenoma. As we said, fibroadenoma is solid and not cystic. So again, there is dominant breast mass in fibroadenoma and the mass is solid. Then we describe further the mass. We try to determine its consistency. So it's usually firm and not hard. The mass has a well-defined border or edge or boundary like this. Okay, well-defined. The mass is very movable. It can move up and down, side to side, and not fixed to the overlying skin and underlying tissue like the muscle. The mass is not tender and has no associated signs of inflammation. It has no redness, it has no pus. There are no signs to suggest malignancy, such as skin erosion, retraction, nipple inversion, and armpit lymph nodes. So these are signs of malignancy. So in fibroadenoma, there is no one sign or single sign of malignancy present. If a malignancy sign is present, then we don't consider fibroadenoma. So this is the clinical pattern recognition approach to the diagnosis of fibroadenoma. To repeat, okay. So there's a dominant mass, breast mass, solid, not hard, and firm, well-defined border or boundary. The mass is movable. The mass is not tender or painful and has no associated signs of inflammation. And then there are no signs to suggest malignancy, such as skin erosion, nipple retraction or retraction of the skin, nipple inversion, and armpit lymph nodes. So this is what we call the pattern, clinical pattern recognition signs of fibroadenoma. And then to reinforce our suspicion that the mass is really fibroadenoma, it's usually seen in patients who are young, so in young women before age 30. There may be multiple fibroadenomas in one breast or both breasts. So you can have two here on one breast and then have one on one breast and another one in the other breast. It's possible. So again, using pattern recognition, package signs, dominant breast mass, solid, firm, hard, well-defined border, very movable, mass is not tender, there's no associated signs of inflammation, there's no sign to suggest malignancy. So if you use pattern recognition and then reinforced by the age of the patient, usually young patients before 30 years old, then you can come out with a clinical diagnosis of fibroadenoma with a very high degree of certainty, as high as 90%, just based on this one, these two processes, pattern recognition and prevalence. Now, if you are quite certain based on the clinical findings that it's really fibroadenoma, then ultrasound and biopsy may not be needed. But if not certain, there's some doubt, ultrasound with or without biopsy may be done. So these are some of the diagnostic tests, that the usual diagnostic tests being done for suspected or if the diagnosis of fibroadenoma is not quite certain. What are the theorized causes of fibroadenoma? The exact cause is not known, but these are the theorized causes. One is aberration in normal development and involution. It's just like degenerative or aging processes. Then the other one is hormonal changes, because it has been shown that majority usually of fibroadenoma usually regress during the post-menopausal or during the menopausal stage. So which suggests that it has some hormonal implications. Can fibroadenoma become a breast cancer? The answer is a resounding no. Fibroadenoma is a benign breast tumor. It is not a breast cancer. It can be hormonally related as a cause and therefore may spontaneously disappear during the menopausal stage. How fast or how slow does a fibroadenoma grow in case it becomes bigger? The answer here, it is very, very slow. Now, what is the treatment for fibroadenoma? So here are the different options. Watch and wait or observation, because it's benign, slow growing. You do the operation only when the size is bothersome big. When you say big, it varies from people's perception, but usually when it's about 5 centimeter in size, then we can say it's already big. And then the other option is that we have to remember that there's no effective medications. No. So the two options that you have are just watch and wait and observation, and then operations when the size is bothersome leaking. So that's my last slide for today on the lecture. Summary and takeaway, I have discussed the following. What is fibroadenoma of the breast? How is fibroadenoma of the breast recognized clinically? What are the diagnostic tests indicated? When are they indicated? What are the theorized causes of fibroadenoma? How fast or how slow does a fibroadenoma grow if it becomes bigger? And then can a fibroadenoma become a cancer? What is the treatment of fibroadenoma? Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment, be always in touch with reliable medical information on fibroadenoma of the breast and how to manage. Knowledge is power, it gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment, kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on fibroadenoma of the breast, how to manage as part of your health management. So this ends my pep talk today. Fibroadenoma of the breast, how to manage. I hope I have enlightened you or I've empowered you to have an essential understanding of the fibroadenoma of the breast, how to manage as part of your health management. So before we go to the question and answer portion, reminder, please take the OLETE or Online Learning Code Evaluation Test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this. We have placed the link in the chat box. Obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another reminder, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. So let's now have a group picture taking before we start the question and answer and interactions. Please turn on your video now and show your faces on the video.
Okay, let's just take a picture. Can everyone turn on their videos, please? Hintayin lang natin yung dalawa. Si Mean at si Mimi. Pwede niyo ba i-open yung
Eh,
video?
Doc, naglolo ko po yung ano ko.
Ay, video.
Camera ko kaya ganyan lang lumalabas. Hindi ko pa
Sige.
naayos. Sorry.
Okay, sige po. Si Mimi ba hahabol sa picture or... Okay. Okay. Picture na po tayo. Everyone smile po. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Binost ko po yung link ng OLETE sa chat box. Nakita po ba ng lahat? Sorry, hindi ko yata na-send yung link po. Okay. Yun na pala yung last. Okay, short lang po yung lecture today. Nasa surgical mission po kasi yung dad ko sa Quirino ngayon. Kaya naghanda lang siya ng short lecture tapos pinaran lang niya sa akin. So yung fibroadenoma, tama, one of the most common causes ng mga breast lump na nakikita po natin. So not all talaga na mga breast lumps ay necessarily cancer. Kailangan pa rin i-correlate clinically, okay? So basta may lump, di kailangan matakot agad. Okay, kasi marami din naman benign causes of breast lumps. Hindi lahat ng bukol ay cancer, kaya important po malaman yun. And pag unsure or parang may suspicious, pwede naman lagi magpa-check agad. Pero kung alam niyo naman na wala naman suspicious findings, mukha naman siyang di cancer, hindi po kailangan matakot agad-agad. Okay. May mga questions po ba or gusto i-share ng
Ako may question.
okay po.
Okay. Ang question ko lang is, since it's not a cancer, di po ba? Parang benign cyst lang siya.
Ay, hindi
Kapag
siya.
hindi siya cyst. Okay, it's
cyst na yan.
a benign mass.
Benign lump. Oo.
Okay.
Benign lump po.
Is there a need na ASAP na tanggalin siya? Kasi di ba usually maliit lang naman siya. Meron bang urgency na tanggalin or dapat bang tanggalin? Or although sabi nawawala naman kasi dahil sa mga parang may showing lang siya for the menopausal age, ganun.
Opo. Yung mga fibroadenoma, kung high suspicion ka na fibroadenoma or sure ka na fibroadenoma, sometimes kasi binabiopsy ng mga iba, tapos lumalabas fibroadenoma lang. Or kung di naman na biopsy at mukhang fibroadenoma clinically or by ultrasound, kung maliit lang naman, di naman siya bothersome or nagkakos ng any symptoms, hindi naman po siya kailangan tanggalin. Pwedeng yung first option, yung observe or watch or just observe monitoring po siya kasi parang low suspicion for cancer po siya. Usually nagiging suspicious po siya kung mabilis, kung nag-grow siya ng faster than usual kasi nga usually slow nag-grow yung mga fibroadenoma or may mga changes sa breast such as nipple discharge, skin retraction, nipple retraction. Doon yung parang mas kailangan ng further investigation po para malaman kung may kailangan gawin pa na iba. Pero kung wala naman, kung sure na parang halos sure ka na fibroadenoma lang at wala naman pong nararamdaman, hindi naman po kailangan tanggalin agad-agad po.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay po. May iba po ba? Meron po ba dito experiences with fibroadenoma or may gustong itanong about it? Usually parang sinasabi nila kung parang meron kang breast lump na baka fibroadenoma, once na diagnose, parang some would monitor it for a minimum of 2 years. Kung hindi nagbago yung size, yung characteristics, usually hindi na rin fina-follow up as tediously. Parang kung may mga abnormalities or mga changes lang napansin, doon parang i-investigate ulit. Pero kung remain stable for 2 years, parang halos sure ka na hindi po siya anything to worry about. Okay. May questions po ba? May other questions po ba or gustong i-share po? Wala po. Abet, meron ka bang sabihin?
Yung kasing kay Christy, nakita naman yan ni Doctor sa sa Zoom. So kinapa namin, inano namin kasi at that time, that was after pandemic Medyo mabilis yung paglaki niya. So parang nagulat ako, sabi ko kung kailan siya nagkaroon. So sabi niya basta na lang sumulpot yung kanyang kanyang breast mass. Pero nawala naman siya.
Okay.
Parang sabi kasi ni Doctor, i-observe kasi baka kung lumalaki siya, pero bothered kasi si Christy So lumaki, tapos lumiit, so nawala naman. Hindi na. So parang sabi nga ni Doctor, it could be fibroadenoma or kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng operahan nun kasi wala pang face-to-face nun Pero nung eventually, nawala naman yung kanyang breast mass. Di ba, Christy? Ayaw niya magsalita kaya ako nagsasalita.
Pwede, yun nga, kasi pwede isang cause ng hormonal changes. So kaya baka nakakapanya dati due to those changes. Tapos pag nag-change yung hormone sa body, pwedeng mag-recede talaga yung mga nararamdaman natin na breast lumps, fibroadenoma, fibrocystic changes usually ganun din, parang lumpy breasts. Tapos
Is
pag
it because na ano, Doc Lance, yung nag-start na siya mag-menopause?
pwede pong, kasi usually yung mga fibroadenoma, mga breast, kahit yung mga cyst, cyst yung fluid collection sa breast, usually nagre-recede sila at menopause or postmenopausal kasi nga mas decrease na yung hormones or yung estrogen ng body kasi kung nag-menopause na.
Mm. So, it could happen to all menopauser ladies. Halimbawa, yung magme-menopause na. So, it could happen to everybody
Yeah,
na
pwede pa rin.
babae.
Pwede pa rin. Depende pa rin sa hormonal changes and
Mm.
yeah.
Si baby espiritu, kasi marami yung several years, several times na inaspirate siya ni Dr. Minonitor. Can you share, baby?
Year 1997 yun nag-start. And then, nakapako. Pagkatapos, nagpatingin na ako kay Dr. Hoson. Ang pagkapa niya, sabi niya parang fibrocystic pero pinabiopsy. So,
Opo.
benign naman ang lumabas. And then, monitoring na lang, every 3 months check-up, hanggang sa nag-menopause, nawala.
Opo.
Hindi naman walang pinagawa si dad mo ng mammography, tsaka ultrasound. Basta monitor lang niya. Every 3 months nag-check up.
Opo.
So ngayon, wala naman. Kaya lang, di pa ako nakakapag-check up ulit since nag-pandemic. Ako
Okay.
nakakapunta.
Wala naman pong concerning or anything. Pwede naman. Kaya importante din, marunong po rin po kayo breast self-exam
Doc.
talaga.
Nag-exam ako kasi minsan parang meron ako nararamdamang masakit. Pag sa gabi, kinakapa ako, nakahiga ako. Wala naman akong nakakapa.
Opo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Empowerment talaga yung breast self-exam kasi parang nagte-take inaano
Sabi
niya
ko nga-
talaga yung health.
Sabi ko nga po kay doktor baka doc meron kang power na pag nag-check up ka, nasa iyo si Lord. Tawa si Dr. Hoson
Hindi po ako magugulat. Okay, thank you po sa pag-share, Ma'am Baby po. Ano rin na-add ko lang, kahit sobrang bata, mga teenagers, actually pwede rin makita ng mga fibroadenoma. Tawag naman nun, juvenile fibroadenoma. Kasi parang pa sila, bata pa sila pero tinutubuan na rin sila ng mga fibroadenoma. Usually nga, lumalaki pa nga mga to, kaya bothersome na po sa kanila, kaya pinapatanggal na po nila. Kasi syempre nakatakot din pag may malaki kang bukol sa breast, kahit sabihin sa'yo na hindi siya cancer, pero malaki po siya at bothersome at lagi mong nakakapa, pwede rin ipa-remove or ipa-remove na po by
Doc Lance, gusto ko lang uling-ulitin. A fibroadenoma cyst cannot be a breast cancer.
hindi po siya cancer yung fibroadenoma.
Hindi siya magiging cancer.
Hindi rin.
Okay. So what are those benign masses aside from fibroadenoma na pwedeng maging breast cancer?
Sige, wala na to sa topic natin pero yung may mga parang breast masses that increases the risk for breast cancer, such as, pero parang wala na to sa topic kanina, mga atypical ductal hyperplasia, mga iba, yung fibroepithelial lesions, mga phylloides na pwedeng benign, pwedeng cancer. Tapos mga intraductal papilloma na may chances na maging cancer. Pero yun, may mga risk of cancer po talaga. Kaya ina-advise po na mas maganda i-biopsy or i-excise. Pero kung fibroadenoma lang or cyst fluid lang,
Hindi.
hindi na kailangan galawin niya.
So
Yung
that's good.
mga cyst din, usually hindi kailangan galawin kung cyst lang po. Pero yun, like fibroadenoma, kung bothersome po siya or masyado na siyang malaki or lumalaki, pwedeng i-remove, pwedeng i-aspirate actually yung mga yun para lang tanggalin yung fluid sa breast. Medyo common din po siya.
Thank you.
Okay. Meron pa po ba? Nakita niyo na po yung yung link na pinost ko sa messages. Yung sa Olete.
Yeah. We saw it.
Okay. Hindi ko lang sure kung ano yung topic niya next week. Pero siya na po yung makakabalik na po siya by Wednesday sa surgical mission niya, kaya siya na po ulit yung magra-run po ng pep talk next Saturday.
Ay, Dr. Lance, I have question po.
Okay po. Ano po yan?
Bali, I was only 30 something po before. I have fibrocystic tissues. Then
Oh.
sabi, yung parang mais lang. So pinabayaan ko lang. Then afterwards, nung 2008, yun nga, inoperahan na ako ni Dr. Hoson. I went back from SG to Philippines just to get operated. Naging medullary carcinoma na siya. Hindi ko lang kung because of that or ano.
Most likely ibang ibang focus po yun na sa breast na naging cancer kung fibrocystic lang po siya before. Na confirm, may ultrasound po ba or biopsy before or wala?
Kasi doktor, pinaspirate pa niya nga ako in 2008. Bali, nag-leave ako ng 2 or 3 weeks from SG. Dito ako nagpa-opera nung dati. Kay Dr. Watson. Yung first operation ko sa kanya.
Tapos yung lumabas po sa biopsy ay
Medullary carcinoma. Partial mastectomy yung ginawa niya sa akin, Doc.
okay. Partial mastectomy. Okay. Tapos yung question niyo po, sorry.
Related siya dun sa kasing
Fibrocystic
30
change.
something ako, fibrocystic, pinabayaan ko lang kasi sabi, UST pa yung doktor ko dati.
Siya pa
Tapos nga, nirefer kasi sa amin si Dr. Hoson, lahat halos nung kamag-anak sa side nung bayaw ko, sa kanya lahat nasa US na sila lahat eh. Siya yung nirefer sa akin dati. So, lahat kami magkakapatid din. Sa kanya rin nagpa-check up dati. Kasi kilala na siya.
Okay. Pag fibrocystic changes siya before na parang confirmed clinically tsaka may biopsy or what, hindi po yun yung yung pinanggalingan ng cancer. Baka panibagong bukol po siya na tumubo in the dun sa pagitan po ng time na yun. Tas baka fast growing po siya kaya biglang may bago na agad na napansin sa monitoring.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Importante yung clinical pa rin, suspicion pa rin kung mukhang yung mga na-mention kanina, skin changes, yung kulani sa kilikili, yung nipple retraction, skin retraction, nipple discharge yan. Baka hindi lang siya benign na na breast condition po.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Opo. Thank you.
Anyone? Meron pa po mag-share ng inyong experiences or questions for Doc Lance?
Meron ba? Kung wala na, I think we can call it a day. Medyo mabilis lang yung session this Saturday habang wala po siya. If anything, kung may gusto pa kayo itanong or ihabol, pwede lang kami message. Sagutin naman po namin yung mga questions.
Sagutin po ni Doc Lance yun habang wala po si Dr. Hoson.
Cover po muna ako sa kanya habang wala siya. Okay. So wala rin yata siyang clinic sa Tuesday, no, Abet? Kasi
Tuesday. It will be on the next Tuesday. Thursday kasi pagod daw siya. So, the next Tuesday na siya magkiklinik.
okay. Si Kirino lang naman siya.
Ay.
Okay, thank you. Kung wala na po ng iba, thank you for attending today. Sana may natutunan kayo. If not, I'm sure baka alam niyo na to before, or at least nadagdagan sa knowledge on yun, fibroadenoma and something benign sa breast. Okay? Thank you po.
Okay. If no questions
Thank you,
at all,
Doc.
Have
we
a
can
good
call
weekend.
it a day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Doc.
Doctor.
Thank you, Doc
Have a
Lance.
Happy
day.
weekend. Happy
Thank you po.
Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Pareho kami naka-green yan. Sister
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.